What's up, everybody? It's Candy Girl. I miss you all so much, and please forgive me. It's been a while since I've uploaded anything, and although I might only have a little bit of subscribers, each and every one of them means something to me, and I love to dialogue with y'all. And so the time that I was away from y'all, I really was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait until I get back on this here camera and engage with my people. So with that being said, to all my first time viewers, welcome. I hope you become part of my family by subscribing to this channel and also hitting little dingy bell thing so that you see when I have another video. What this channel is all about is social issues that are going on. I try to stay away from political stuff, but sometimes it merges into social issues that we're dealing with as a culture of people and as a human race. I also try to do a little bit of research for you all so that my opinions are backed by actual facts, statistics, studies, things like that. I'm also going to give you some historical backdrop so that you understand the progression of things and how we got to where we are today. So this is definitely a place where you can really learn and also dialogue in a meaningful way about some really deep stuff. For all of my subscribers, I want to thank you so much for keeping me encouraged, for keeping me motivated. All my new subscribers, every time I get that email saying such and such has subscribed, I'm just like so honored that you would actually be interested in what I have to say, and that you want to see more. And so thank you so very much for your continued love and support. So today I'm going to talk to you about two things. One of which is a social experiment that artist Marina Abramovic conducted. And then I'm also going to talk about The Walking Dead, and actually a video by one of my YouTube family members, and his name I'll post on the bottom of this video so that you can check him out and support him as well. And he talked about something that was really a touchy subject, and I had to kind of come on and just give you my entire 2 cents, and probably $1.02 by the time I'm done, but we'll see. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, before I start, I do want to say this. I know I said I was going to have a video every Thursday, and I haven't been really good with that. And let me explain myself for a moment. I am only going to make a video and share my opinions and views and things like that to things that I actually am interested in. And if nothing is going on that I'm really interested in, I'm not going to come here and make a video and waste y'all times, clicks, internet bandwidth, or whatever, just to say that I met the deadline. I'm not about that life. What I will do is I will come to you when I see something that is very inspiring or motivating, or, you know, something that I feel very passionate about. And so that's what these two things are all about today. So let's talk about this social experiment. There was an artist, again, her name is Marina Abramovic, and she conducted a social experiment where she stood still for 6 hours without any movement to see what people would do to her body. She left 72 objects on the table next to her, and the viewers had to use them if they decide to make changes to her posture. Now, some people changed her position, and that's what it first happened. But then next, people started to make her sit down, not to make her more comfortable, but to humiliate her. Then people started picking up things and started pinning them on her body. There was a man who even made razor cuts on her neck, and she still didn't budge. Then all of a sudden, somebody even undressed her and started to grope her. After 6 hours, the artist started to walk around the people, and the people did horrible things. And the people who did these horrible things could not even look her in the face. And the point of this social experiment is that people can hurt you easily, and they can dehumanize you if you don't stand up for yourself. No matter how educated they are, they will become violent at any given opportunity. And let me just tell you why this really struck a nerve for me. This week I had to set some really hard boundaries to someone who I greatly respected, but also believed that I deserved respect from that individual as well. And I felt like for several months I was being disrespected and treated like less than. I used to be the type of person that didn't speak up about things. And if you look at my channel, I speak up about a lot of stuff now, but believe me, there was a time where I didn't even have an opinion, and I think that I was stunting myself and filtering myself so that I wasn't a disagreeable person. I was so scared of what people might say or do or respond to what I have to say, and I felt like I was going to lose out on friends. So this really struck a nerve for me, because I have come to the point in my life where having you in my life is not as important as my own self-respect. And I think that this experiment came at a perfect time for me, where I realized that if I don't do that, if I don't have boundaries, and if I don't hold people accountable for those boundaries, then people will hurt me very easily. And if given the opportunity, they'll dehumanize me and hurt me, even physically. And I hate to say this, but it can happen to anybody from anybody. One thing that this experiment helped me realize is that these people, although she was standing out there for hours on end, the fact of the matter is that they knew that she wasn't going to do anything to them to stop them. They also had noticed her tolerating very offensive behavior from other people. And so they walked up thinking that it must be okay to her, and I'm about to join in on the fun for their entertainment purposes only. There was for no other gain except for entertainment. To me, when it comes to our own personal lives, people, if you don't set those boundaries, people are going to see how you interact with other people and draw the conclusion that they can do the same thing to you or even worse. And they're going to push those limits to see what you're going to do. And if you don't stop them in their tracks and in a respectful way, then ultimately they're going to continue to build up the microaggressions to some very strong aggressions that you could have avoided. Now, I'm not saying that any kind of aggression against you is your fault, but there are things that we can do to advocate for ourselves to prevent certain things from happening, and one thing is to stand up for yourself. People can only hurt you as much as you allow them to. And I'm not saying to knock people out of your life or to block them from being in your life, but in the end of the day, let's try to set some healthy boundaries here. And if you don't, it'll just build up. And I will most definitely give you a link to the experiment so you can see the pictures and other commentary yourself, to check out this particular artist. Now let's go ahead and talk about The Walking Dead, y'all. First of all, that season finale snatched every edge up out of my head. Okay, I didn't see a lot of things coming. For one, here's just some glaring observations that I made, and then I'm going to talk about what I really wanted to talk about. Okay, number one, in the finale, am I the only person who is messed up enough to have thought, even for 1 second, that when Sasha was sitting there in the dark, listening to Donny Hathaway, and she was breathing hard and kind of shallow and kind of, gyrating up and down a little bit, I really thought she was getting ate out or something. I really did. And I was thinking, like, I thought she was locked up. I'm like, where did he do that at? But then I thought about, like, this could not be it. But for a minute, I really thought it was. And then I remembered, like, she's listening to really depressing music about us being in paradise one day. She's reminiscing about her deceased lover, and even more so, I don't see how she would have had access to any good dick or tongue sitting in that cell. But you know how Walking Dead likes to do. They like to kind of like jump up and down, back and forth. Anywho, that was just one thing. Then that tiger went and attacked everybody. How he know Which people were like the good people and the bad people? Like, that's a hole in the plot line that I just really didn't understand. Maybe because those other people had been around the tiger more, he had like picked up their scent and they're like, no, he's cool, but this person is not. Or maybe your energy was really bad, but then I think about it and my energy would be bad too because you're a tiger and you're over here eating people. I'm gonna be nervous and I'm probably gonna be letting out all kinds of hormones that's gonna get my ass ate. Nonetheless, how did that tiger know how to do that stuff? Now, one thing I will say about the finale, it was not as good as the mid-season finale, and that kind of disappoints me because I'm not as eager to see what happens in the next season. We done took all this time to get to nowhere, just to get our butts kicked, even with a tiger on our team. You know what I'm saying? Negan is still alive. Not to mention the fact that, like, at the mid-season finale, we were like, y'all better hurry up and get to the mid-season premiere because, dog, you can't just be doing this to us. This finale, I was kind of like, I feel like I would be content never watching The Walking Dead again because I'm just not that anxious to see what happens. I'm invested, so I probably will. But nonetheless, I'm not as anxious to see what happens next season as I was during the mid-season finale. But anyways, I digress. What I wanted to talk about in The Walking Dead was the episode before the finale. And this is where one of the guards, y'all gonna realize I don't know anybody's names. One of the guys that is with the saviors, I want to say, whoever is Negan's people, whatever their name is. Okay, so I'm gonna try to pull this together real quick. Okay, so the guy that was working for Negan came into Sasha's jail cell and he was about to rape her. And then Negan comes in and swoops in, and now he's the hero because he stopped him from raping her. And he said that this is the worst sin that you can commit in this community. You know this is punishable by death. I don't tolerate that. And he kills him, like, straight up. Now, I'm thinking, don't you rape like 8 women at one time? Like, I need you to break this down for me, how you feel like you are not, you should not be killed just like this other guy was killed. You know, what is it that makes you so special? And don't you realize that even though you force these women to become your wife, just because you're having sex with your wife does not mean you can rape her. So we're uncovering a lot of really deep issues. Now, what my friend and family member was saying is that they breached this subject of rape in a very insensitive manner. I would disagree. However, everybody has their own life experience, and that creates a framework in which you interpret certain things, causing you to have a different reaction than I would have on this very same stimulus. So with that being said, I respect his opinion because he has his own life experiences that he can speak to that cause him to interpret things differently. However, in my opinion, this was very beautifully done because it is starting to open up the dialogue for insensitivity towards rape. It's opening up the dialogue for other forms of rape that are not actually recognized in every state in the United States, a country that is one of the leaders in human rights, so to speak, does not recognize women's rights even after they are married. And so let me break that down for you. First of all, Negan is raping more people than that whole community combined, in my opinion. He's got these wives that he forced into submission. Some of these people were already married, and for fear of their husbands' lives, they actually agreed to marry him, and in so many words, they were laying down with him and having sex with him even though they didn't want to. What people don't realize is that is a form of rape. It's called rape by coercion. And what that means is I would not have had sex with you had you not threatened me in some kind of way, shape, or form, or even talked me into it. You know what I'm saying? But usually people are hinging off of your fears in order to force you to do something that you normally would not have done in any other situation. And in this situation, Negan is killing people left and right, throwing them in fires and shit. So, of course, you're going to try to protect your man, and you're going to do whatever you got to do to let him see another day. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. So what I'm thinking is, okay, she got her man's, she's holding her man down. She got his back. She's, doing what she got to do to keep everybody alive. I applaud that. But Negan is so blinded by his power that he doesn't realize that he's forcing these women into submission. He has brainwash these people so much that they feel like they don't have any other choice. And he thinks at this point their submission is voluntary, when he knows good and well that the way he was even able to form this colony of people was by force and by coercion. Also, it breaches the subject of marital rape, and not every state recognizes that. And you see in this situation where a man is forcing their wife to have sex with him, even though under normal circumstances she wouldn't have given him the time of day. This is something that now more people are talking about as a result of a TV series that has really very little to do about rape. And they were able to weave that into this storyline. And I think that part of it was not for entertainment reasons only. It was more so to demonstrate that in its most extreme form, this rape by coercion is wrong. So if we're on this range of rape versus consensual, what was going on was more on this end, even though they were married. And I think that gives us a different frame of mind and a different way to think of things. I really can appreciate them causing us to think about it a little bit more and talk about it. So hats off to The Walking Dead, but hats off to everybody who has a mind of their own and have their own opinions. And with that being said, that's just my 2 cents. So please leave your comments and your opinions in the comments below. Please be respectful. We're talking about some really sensitive topics here, so please be respectful of myself and my other viewers and subscribers. This is supposed to be a safe zone for people to be able to learn from one another. With that being said, until next time, you all love it.